Okay, so let's make a lazy video. Haha. So today we're actually going to be doing a tier list. Yes, another one. And we're going to actually be going through the best PvE ultra classes. Now, obviously, PvE means player versus environment, and these ultra classes are going to be what you're probably going to want to be using in order to farm PvE bosses, etc. So you can actually get drops and, you know, farm up things you need. So getting straight into this, we actually start off with Grand Knight. Now, honestly, who gives a F? Realistically, this whole list, there's what, 3 ultra classes you should be using for PvE, but I guess we'll go through all of them. But everything else is kind of irrelevant, so it's just like, what's the point in going through all of them? But at the same time, I guess we got to go through all of them, right, to a certain extent. Now for PvE, Grand Knight, I would say decent. I don't really know how good it is, but obviously, you know, it's a pretty tanky class and you have different elements, and you could use those elements whilst also using an enchant. So I mean, I guess I'll put it decent, right? It's not like good, but it's not god tier. Fallen Knight, god tier. Honestly, if you're PvEing, if you want to farm up things for your other ultras, you should be using Fallen Knight. I guess I'm gonna put Destroyer in decent, cause like I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like if you're PvEing it with anything, that's, you know, there's no point, right? Shogun, I guess, decent. Why are you PvEing with this? Now, I guess you could put Spartan good, and the only reason I say that is because Spartan has a bunch of like raw damage and just a bunch of dumb moves that kill your opponent, right? But like, would I even use Spartan? I guess when you're about to die, you can use your Spartan Rage in order to actually save you. So I'm actually gonna leave it at good. Your Spartan Rage will actually save you if you're about to die in a PvE scenario. If you're able to defeat the boss or whatever mob you're farming before you get knocked down, it would be good. If not, then it's pretty pointless. But we're gonna slap it there just because I want to, and the only things that really matter on this list are the things I'm putting in god tier. So does it really matter? No. Right, Poseidon Knight. Poseidon Knight doesn't even have good damage. It just has a bunch of combo stuff. It's absolute arse for PvE. Prowler Rider, I guess I'll put decent. I've seen people PvE with Prowler Rider, like its moves. Prowler Rider is just kind of a mid-class in my opinion in general, but that's neither here or there for this video. World Seeker, I guess I'll put it in decent as well. I don't know. Shinobi's absolute arse for PvE. What are you gonna do, fling the bosses in the air? No, you're not doing that. Shinobi's, yeah, no, you're not comboing bosses. I guess I'll just put this in decent, honestly. Kingslayer for PvE, I'm not gonna lie, I'm only gonna put it good because it helps traverse around the map. It's not really you fighting environments though, is it? I'm just gonna put it in decent. It's gonna put it in decent if we're being honest. World Sage, we'll put it in decent. Ancient Champion is good. Ancient Champion is good. If you have the right build for PvE, Ancient Champion is actually pretty good. But should you be using Ancient Champion for PvE? Not really. Not really. Superhuman, I guess. Whatever. Tortured, I guess. Whatever. Coyote is actually god tier for PvE. No, it's not. Let's put it in good. The only reason, like, you can cheese a lot of bosses and mobs with Coyote because it has such far range moves. But I'm not putting it god tier. You're not farming bosses like B with Coyote solo. Hey! You gotta take every boss into account. You know what I mean? You're not solo farming bosses with Coyote. Hitman's actually really good for PvE as well. Kind of similar reason to Coyote. Priest, no. Damon Smith, god tier. Damon Smith and Fallen Knight are like the only things you should be PvE farming with, in my opinion. Demon Smith has a bunch of heals. They did nerf the heals, they really did, but if you're not stupid and your build is correct, you can still solo farm a lot of bosses with Demon Smith, so it's actually pretty good. Dryad, I'm just gonna put decent. who actually cares? And then witch doctor, we're gonna put decent. Yeah, so the only things that actually matter on this list like Ags, oh my gosh, what a pointless video. No, it's not a pointless video. This, you know, like Fallen Knight, obviously we've seen the videos, you've seen my videos. Fallen Knight has an excessive amount of heals. You heal literally almost all your health just through M1ing. Your grab move, when you pull that off successfully, you get a bunch of health back from that as well. You're always healing. Also, you can enchant your sword with lifesteal to make your healing even better. You feel what I'm saying? So Fallen Knight for PvE 100%. You can still die, but if your build is right and you're not stupid, god tier for PvE farming. Demon Smith, very similar situation to Fallen Knight, except instead of M1s, it's your abilities. I probably wouldn't be able to help you out with Demon Smith, but there's a lot of videos showing Demon Smith PvE builds. So obviously these are god tier. You heal almost everything all the time. Now you have Coyote, similar reasons. Now the reason these guys are not in god tier is because they can't solo farm certain bosses. You cannot solo certain bosses with these guys. Now if you find cheese methods, you can cheese any boss in the game with any class. However, we're not talking about cheese, we're talking about legitimate farming. So Coyote, you can legitimate farm and cheese at the same time with Coyote. You got the range, your moves are a bit, you know, type beat. Hitman, very similar to Coyote, just not as good as Coyote is with PvE. With Hitman, Ancient Champion has the damage output, and if you have the right build, is super tanky. And you know, that Ancient Champion is actually pretty good. Spartan, I'm not gonna lie, I should be putting Spartan in decent. However, the only thing I'm assuming is, let's say the boss is low and you're low, the rage, the mode is gonna save you. It gives you a second chance at life, and you get like 1 minute 30 seconds to actually take down whatever you're farming, whatever boss you're farming, in order to actually get you know, farm whatever you're farming. And then everything else, who cares? If you're using any of these other builds for PvE, you're stupid anyways. So it doesn't really matter if I put these guys in decent, meh, or absolute arse. Don't use these guys for PvE builds. I mean, I guess if you have the right build, you can use anything in the game for PvE. But why would you waste your time doing that? Just go make a Fallen Knight or Demon Smith and farm PvE content. Stop being stupid. Let's not have a debate conversation in the comment section down below calling me ass. This is not even my opinion. It's a fact that Fallen Knight and Demon Smith are the best for PvE. And Fallen Knight and Demon Smith are not that hard to get when it comes to ultra classes. So go make it ultra class and go farm. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.